Welcome to the Fit Woman Formula podcast, where we show women just like you how to reclaim your energy, rebuild your body, and step into you 2.0. I'm Coach Jonathan, founder and head coach of the Fit Woman Formula coaching program. This show is for women who are tired of starting over and ready to finally create results that last. Not just weight loss, but real confidence, a healthier relationship with food, a stronger mindset, and a lifestyle that finally lasts. You can watch full episodes on YouTube or listen on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you enjoy podcasts. And if you're ready to learn more about how we can help you unlock the energy and confidence of your 20s while dropping 2+ sizes in the next 12 weeks, visit fitwomanformula.com. All right, let's get into today's episode.
Have you ever lost the weight before? I'm not talking about a little bit. I'm talking about really losing it. You felt it in your jeans. You felt it in the mirror. You told yourself, this time is real. This time is different. And then you watched it slowly or maybe quickly find its way back. If that's happened to you more than once, this episode is for you. And really, I need you to hear this. The weight coming back isn't proof that you failed. It's not proof that you lack discipline. It's not proof that you're one of these women that just can't keep the weight off, or that's just the way things are. But it is proof of a pattern. And most of the time, this pattern starts in the exact same place. And I know you ladies don't want to hear this, but I'm going to be direct with you because you need to. Chasing fast weight loss, okay? Here's the thing about fast weight loss. It feels really good in the moment. You step on the scale and it's down 5 pounds in a week, or you step on the scale and it's down 10 pounds in a week. You feel like you finally found the thing that works, but fast almost never means sustainable. And it usually means the total opposite of what you think. This is what we call the fast weight loss trap. And here's what happens. You want results and you want them now. So you cut hard. You cut carbs completely. You drop your calories way lower than you should be and way lower than what your body actually needs. Maybe you add in some extra cardio on top of it. And the scale drops. It drops fast, 5, 6, 7 pounds in the first week or two. It feels like proof that this is finally working. But here's what most women never get told. That number dropping fast isn't mostly fat. So this is where we need to yet again talk about fat loss versus weight loss. And most people aren't explaining this clearly. And that's really the key to this episode. Weight loss, again, is just a number on the scale. It doesn't tell you what you actually lost. Water, muscle, is it fat? Is it glycogen, which is the stored carbs in your muscles that hold on to water? All of it shows up as the same number going down. When you drastically cut carbs and calories at the same time, your body actually dumps glycogen and the water attached to it almost immediately. That's where most of this fast early drop on the scale comes from, not fat. Water weight tied to the carbs that you cut. Fat loss is completely different. Fat loss is a much slower process. We just have to be real about that. It's your body actually burning stored fat for energy while your muscle and your metabolism stay intact. So real fat loss looks more like 0.5 pound to a pound a week, not 5 to 7. I want you to hear this again, ladies. Real fat loss. Real sustainable fat loss, a good pace, is about 0.5 pound to a pound a week. Now, if you have a significant amount of weight to lose, let's say you're over 200, 250, even 300 pounds, okay, then yes, a faster pace, 2 to 3 pounds a week, is more reasonable, okay? Now, when you chase the fast number instead of the steady one, you're not just losing fat. You're losing muscle right along with it, especially if you're not eating enough protein or you're not strength training. And muscle, by the way, is the engine that runs your entire metabolism, or at least a large part of it. So here's what this actually does over time. Every time you lose weight through heavy restriction, you lose some muscle along with the fat. Now, studies on this consistently show that aggressive calorie cutting without enough protein and without resistance training can cost you up to a quarter of your muscle. So let's think about that. If you lose 20 pounds, 5 pounds of that is muscle. That is a big deal. But muscle burns more calories at rest than fat does. So less muscle means your body burns fewer calories doing absolutely nothing all day, every day. That's called your resting metabolic rate, and it drops every single time you go through this cycle. Not only that, your body becomes more and more receptive to gaining fat. So when you go through one of these restricted periods and then you fall off and you go back to realizing like, oh God, yes, I actually want to eat some of these foods. And then you overdo it because then you swing to the extreme opposite end of things and you're overeating again. It becomes so much easier for your body to gain fat. So this same 1,200 calorie plan that worked the first time literally cannot produce the same result the second or third time because your body isn't the same anymore. And here's the piece that makes this even more true for a lot of you listening. If you're in your 40s or 50s and beyond, you're hormoning on top of all this. Estrogen naturally supports muscle mass and helps regulate where your body stores fat. And as it declines, you're already fighting a slight uphill battle to hold on to muscle. Okay? Even before restriction and yo-yo dieting pile on top of it. So you followed at 30 that you're trying to follow again now in your 40s, 50s, and beyond isn't just outdated because of the metabolic damage from all the restriction you've been doing. It's outdated because your body chemistry is genuinely different. And I'm going to say it as I've said it many times. You're not broken. You're certainly not lazy. I had another one of you amazing ladies that I just started talking to for the first time today within about 5 minutes saying that you're lazy. You're not fucking lazy. She literally told me she's a single mom working 2 jobs. How is that lazy? Doesn't sound lazy to me. But look, your body just adapted exactly the way it's designed to adapt to survive restriction and to move through this stage of life. The plan just never accounted for either. Now, most programs out there are really falling into the restriction trap. And it's all about smaller. It's all about eating less. It's all about cutting more. It's about wanting less. And it works for a while because restriction always works short term. But restriction has a cost that goes beyond just muscle. Your life gets smaller too. You skip the dinner out with family because you don't trust the menu. You don't trust yourself. You skip the birthday cake because one bite feels like the whole thing is ruined. Blew up all your progress. You skip the vacation or you skip going out with your friends instead of enjoying it when you do go out. That's not discipline. That's a system that can't survive contact with real life. I call that living in a box. You're trying to live in this little perfect box, right? I'm going to wait, Jonathan. Desperately need to make this change. Got a lot of problems going on with my health. I want to do this for my family. I want to do this for my partner. Desperately need to do it. But I'm going to wait until things are perfect in this little box right here. That box doesn't exist, ladies. And the second life pulls you out of this little box, one weekend, one holiday, one stressful month, the whole thing falls apart. And the weight that you lost so fast comes back just as fast, often faster, because your metabolism is slower than when you started. So if fast and restrictive isn't the answer, then what is? It's a good question. 3 things, and none of them are complicated. They're just not what gets marketed to you all day long. First, flexibility instead of rigidity. A way of eating that can survive a vacation, can survive the holidays, can survive a crazy week, which will happen. Because your plan has to work in your actual life. A perfect version of it doesn't exist. Number 2, protecting muscle on purpose and with intention. That means eating enough protein and strength training. I don't care if you can't make it to the gym. A lot of the ladies we work with can't make it to the gym. Do something at home, 10 minutes, 15 minutes. Doesn't need to be every day, few times a week. You need to be lifting, not just cutting calories and hoping for the best. Now, this is the single biggest lever for keeping your metabolism from tanking every time you lose weight. And it matters even more once your hormones start working against you instead of for you. Lifting and eating protein. Number 3, support that adjusts with you. Not a static meal plan that you just follow alone while you grit your teeth because you're eating the same shit every day out of pre-made meals and you're suffering through it. There's a reason we don't do meal plans, and I'm touching on it right now. But one of the ladies that just got started with us, like many of the ladies we work with, her biggest struggle is actually eating enough. Okay, that might not be your problem, but I want you to hear me out on meal plans. We didn't get too hardcore right away on what we wanted her to do with food. It was just gave her a simple list of some convenience foods that are high in protein that she could kind of lean into, okay, that she could do easily. And I just wanted her, we didn't set any hard rules around this or anything. Wanted her to add one of these in a day to start with, among a couple other things that we started working on. And when we started talking about this, she said, well, I got chicken breasts and broccoli. This is someone that's already told me she doesn't have time to cook. She doesn't like cooking. She really doesn't even like going into her kitchen. And again, she hasn't really been eating anything, but now she's going to start eating the same fucking chicken and broccoli day after day. And her plan was to do this for the entire week. And I just stopped her and I said, look, I'm not going to knock your idea, but we both know this isn't going to work, right? She said, yeah, this didn't work the last time I did it. So I asked her, and I already knew the answer. Why are we going back to this? Well, because this is what I did before. Fine. And that might be what you're thinking right now. And I'm not knocking that. I get the thinking. But then I asked her a follow-up question. Did this work before? No, it didn't. So let's stop trying to do the same shit that we did before that didn't work. Didn't work then. You need a different approach. You need support that adjusts with you. You need someone checking in. You need someone that is adjusting your plan for you as life changes, catching the pattern like I just described you before it turns into another 20 pounds coming back on. Picture 2 women in the exact same 12-week window. One eats 1,200 calories, cuts every carb out, cuts all the sugar out, skips her niece's graduation party because she didn't trust herself around the cake at the table. Okay. White knuckles her way through every single social event for 12 weeks straight. Now the other, she eats enough protein. She's working out. She's lifting 3 times a week. Okay, not for a long time, but she's lifting 3 times a week consistently. She still goes to the graduation party. She has a slice of cake, and she's got the support to get right back on track the next day without spiraling. 6 months later, one of them kept the weight off. Which one do you think it was? It was never the one who restricted harder. Never. But there's one more piece, and it's the one that most women skip entirely. You have to become a different version of yourself along the way here, not just follow a different meal plan. And we refer to this as you 2.0. And I want to be clear, this isn't a totally different person. This isn't a totally different version of you. This is just the version of you who trusts herself around food, who doesn't need everything to be perfect to stay consistent, who can miss a workout or eat off plan for a night and just keep going like you usually do. And you don't get there through one big transformation that happens overnight or one more extreme reset. You get there through what we call confidence deposits. Small wins stacked up on top of each other week after week until you actually believe at a deep level. What's the word? If you've been listening, certainty. You have certainty that you're someone who can do this long term. That belief is what keeps the weight off. Now, what do you actually do? That's a really good question to be thinking about. If this has been your pattern, here's exactly where to start. Stop looking for the stricter plan. The stricter plan is not the missing ingredient. You've already proven that to yourself more than once. Prioritize protein. Doesn't have to be the perfect amount, just needs to be more. Get some strength training in. Again, doesn't need to be in the gym. You're not going to the gym right now? Think about how big of a barrier it is to go to the gym, especially if you have a very busy life. But you need to be doing something. So you're actually preserving the muscle when you're losing weight instead of losing it. Again, what's a sustainable rate of fat loss, not just weight loss? 0.5 pound to a pound a week is a very good pace for most women. Not the fastest weight loss. And you need to find support that actually addresses your problems, not just some shiny object that you're seeing coming at you on social media, that actually addresses your problems and adjusts when life is happening instead of a rigid plan that breaks the moment life changes. So weight loss is not a destination. It is a way of living. If you keep treating it like a finish line, you'll keep crossing it and end up right back where you started. Except unfortunately, you're going to be more exhausted and more discouraged every time. And it's going to be harder to lose the weight the next time around. And you're getting further and further from this goal that you thought you were getting pretty close to. Now, next week, we're going to be doing something a little bit different. I'm going to be sharing an interview that I did with my client, Crystal. We've been working with her for a little while. And she has Hashimoto's. She's gone through IVF multiple times now. She is someone that had tried all of the things, including Optavia and a bunch of other stuff. You don't want to miss that conversation, especially if you are dealing with any health issues right now and you think that's what's holding you back. You need to be hearing this.
And that wraps up today's episode of the Fit Woman Formula Pod. Today's conversation helped you take one more step toward reclaiming your body and stepping into you 2.0. If you found this helpful, make sure you're subscribed to this future episodes. Spotify or Apple Pod. I'd really appreciate it if you left a quick rating or review. It helps more women discover the show. Ready to unlock the energy and confidence of your 20s while dropping 2+ sizes in the next 12 weeks without useless supplements or living in the gym? Visit Fit Woman Formula to learn how we've helped hundreds of women just like you. I'll see you in the next episode.